What if I told you the warmest homes in the Arctic were built without heat, fuel, or electricity? Inuit families survived minus 90-degree Fahrenheit blizzards using nothing but animal skin, blubber, and snow, even crafting waterproof windows from intestines and lamps from raw fat. These are the 7 weirdest survival hacks ever discovered. And the last one is so strange, even scientists didn't believe it until they saw it. We kick things off with an engineering and architectural masterpiece. There is no electricity, wood, metal, or modern insulation, just snow, and surprisingly, it is 100% effective. This masterpiece is called an igloo. To every other person, it's not just basic, but looks like something that would fall apart any minute, something you only stay in temporarily, say a couple of weeks. But to the Inuit, it's a fortress that protects them from a climate actively trying to kill them. In Inuit, the word igloo basically means house, and for centuries it has proved to be one of, if not the most effective, ways to stay warm and safe across the Arctic. But what really stands out about the igloo is its construction. The process is simply remarkable. It starts with carefully collecting snow. Carefully because not all kinds of snow can work for this. Freshly fallen snow can't be used for this, but only older snow that has been packed with a lot of wind. These are usually very dense and dry, making them perfect for carving. The carving is done with a special snow knife, and the snow is sliced into blocks and is carefully arranged in an upward spiral, each block precisely placed slightly inward. They do this without any nails, rubber, glue, basically nothing we use in modern construction. It's really all just snow and precision. But things get a lot more interesting. The final snow brick is added, and the igloo is complete. From the top, it looks normal, but the entrance takes a funny shape and position. While the ceiling is built high, the entrance is carved really low. This makes the shelter look different from any other form of human shelter. But the Inuit don't build it like this because of looks, but there's actually a deeper reason for this. With this design, the cold air sinks near the door, while the heat, usually gotten from either body heat or their special lamp, collects above. And when you get inside the igloo, you find a whole new level of genius. While the temperature outside the igloo can be crazy cold, minus 90 degrees Fahrenheit, a well-built igloo can be 50 degrees warmer. And this is an interesting thing about igloos. It gets so warm that the snow walls start to melt. Then, because of the generally freezing atmosphere, the melted snow instantly freezes up and turns into an icy wind-proof shell. And that's not all when it comes to the genius interior. The snow walls can trap heat and release it throughout the day, making the place a lot more comfortable and warmer for the Inuit. This is nature's own insulation system, and this one is absolutely free. No bills, no damages, no maintenance. It's just there doing its thing. And over time, the Inuit realized an even smarter way to get the igloo warmer. You see, the Inuit may not have the modern tools and knowledge, but they know a thing or two about biology. They realize the human body produces a decent amount of heat. The average human produces about the same energy as a 100-watt light bulb. And of course, you have a whole family staying in an igloo. Sometimes more than just one family. So in total, that's a pretty impressive amount of electricity. But they don't stop there. They have a unique way of getting the best out of body heat. Families sleep very close to each other to conserve the heat. This may look small, but it makes a huge difference. This gesture alone can raise the temperature by 15 degrees, and looking at how old the Arctic is, any slight advantage is a huge deal. But it isn't just about building an igloo or getting all cuddled up at night. The Inuit have other smart ways to stay warm in the Arctic, and one of these is coming up with a special sleeping system. While the igloo provides general protection, the night comes with special challenges that require special fixes. During sleep, maintaining body heat is non-negotiable. You either figure this out before you fall asleep, or you're probably not waking up. And this is where the Inuit layered sleeping system comes in, and you won't believe how genius it is. It all begins with the bed. Of course, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to sleep directly on the cold snow floor. There has to be a bed, and given the special condition here, not just any type of bed. The Inuit make use of hard-packed snow or sometimes slabs of ice, all covered in some very special materials that help combat the cold. These materials are animal fur, caribou skin, and seal skin. Nothing about this arrangement is random. Everyone is a brilliantly planned move. For example, the animal fur and skin, even the choice of animal. You see, caribou hide isn't just used because it's warm, but hairs that can trap heat. Just one layer of it can retain body heat. Now imagine what happens when you arrange layers upon layers. It's not just survival now, you're getting comfort. Then there's the part of a family sleeping close to each other. These guys are excellent at getting the best out of slight opportunities. But it's more complex than gathering animal fur and skin. We know the way igloos are designed. Cold air stays on ground level and warm air goes up. The Inuit figured the higher they were from the group, the closer they were to warm air, hence the hard-packed snow. And this is something you should know when packing snow. Body size is taken into consideration. They make sure it is stuffed enough to support the weight of the user, so it doesn't melt under the user's weight. And just to show the intelligence and advancement, these platforms have tiny areas of twigs and branches to trap heat. They have a built-in drainage system carved into it. Then there's perhaps the most impressive thing about this layered sleep system and how the platform is designed. It gets more comfortable and personalized as you use it. This is it. As you sleep, your body produces heat that gradually melts snow on the surface. As this happens, the melted refreezes. But now, due to its flexibility, takes a shape that matches your body. Now, topped with the hides and skin, you don't just get a warmer sleeping area, but a more comfortable area. This is something you'd find in every igloo. But there's something that's also found in the igloo, but this time, more important to the Inuit, their special lamp, the kulic. This is one of the most iconic tools in Arctic history, and for two main reasons, heat and light. The kulic, or as others call it, the blubber lamp, is a masterpiece made from soapstone. The Inuit quickly realized soapstone's exceptional ability to not only hold heat, but also radiate it. This tool is brilliantly shaped into a half moon, or something like a shallow bowl. In it, the Inuit pour a very special type of oil, very thick, and obtained mainly from seal blubber. Although whale and walrus blubber are also used, seal is the most common. But let's get to the impressive part of this tool. It looks simple, but a lot of calculations were made into its design. From Arctic cotton and moss, the Inuit make a wick that stretches along the edge of the lamp. The wick gets saturated with a moderate amount of oil, and when it gets lit, it produces flames that not only light up the place, but also warm it up. A single kulic can produce 250 watts of energy. Now imagine what happens when you have up to 6 in an igloo. And the great thing about this indigenous lamp is that it is one of the cleanest burning lamps ever invented. No smoke or staining the wall, it just burns very cleanly and effectively. To make it even better, with a special stick called the tasik. The Inuit move the wick around, controlling the flame. If the flame is too small, the lamp won't generate enough heat and can ultimately die off. And if the flame is too much, the precious oil will get wasted. For a pre-modern tool, the kulic is pretty advanced and, of course, effective. Having enough of it in an igloo can greatly improve the internal temperature, at least keeping it above freezing level. And when other insulation tools come in, the room temperature isn't just barely above freezing, but is now warm. But the kulic doesn't just heat the igloo, it is also used to dry things like boots and clothes. This is the Arctic. Clothes and boots are not just left outside to dry. The Inuit woman turns to the special lamp to dry wet boots and clothes. Overall, the kulic is one of the Inuits' most important inventions. In a place where storms can last for days and weeks and people are forced to stay in for an extended period of time, the kulic really comes in clutch as it makes staying in a lot more bearable. Also, given that there are no coals or trees in the Arctic to make fire, the Inuit came up with something to help them survive this harsh condition, and the kulic served them just fine. But enough on igloos, sleeping systems, or lamps. These are all tricks that the Inuit use to stay warm indoors. The real threat comes up when they not only have to step out, but also spend hours outside hunting. The Inuit people know they have to come up with ways to survive the outdoors, and they sure came up with brilliant ways. One of which is making clothes out of caribou fur. The caribou, or as many locals call it, the tuktu, is more than just food in this part of the world. It's a source of warmth and heat. Think of it like a shield against the brutal cold that is out to unalive you. The Inuit use different parts of the caribou for different reasons, but when it comes to protection from the cold, the fur takes the cake. Now this is it. The caribou fur isn't just like other animals. This beast's fur is an exceptional insulator, as each hair is hollow, trapping tiny pockets of air inside. It is surprisingly flexible, lightweight, and most importantly, excellent at trapping body heat, making the Inuit people able to survive in a temperature that'll kill an unprotected man in minutes. And it gets really interesting when you go in depth into how this natural armor is made. It takes great skill to turn raw caribou hide into something that would save you from freezing up. After a caribou is successfully captured and taken back to camp, the hide gets removed, cleaned, dried, and then, with tools like bones, it gets straightened. Then, with sinew thread, it gets sewn into clothing. And the interesting thing is that these sinew threads are also obtained from caribous. To be more precise, from the animal's muscle strip, which is the long, thin muscle at the back of the animal's leg. When that is done, the Inuit people are presented with a full-body garment. Sometimes these garments have their fur turned inwards, so body heat can be trapped and kept closer to the skin, while the layer that faces outward helps fight off snow and ice. And this is a fact that'll definitely shock you. In 2015, scientists conducted a study on these locally made garments and realized that they hid body heat so well that even with thermal cameras, body heat would still go unnoticed. Desperate times call for desperate measures. When things get extra tough, they opt for layering multiple pieces of fur clothing so a microclimate can be created around the body, allowing the hunters to stay out a lot longer. For context, it takes the hunter about 6 to 8 hours to successfully complete a seal hunt. They'd need something really strong to survive this long in the cold. Hunting in this part of the world with normal fabric is more a less self-harm, or maybe even worse. Ordinary fabrics would freeze up and become stiff in minutes. But the caribou's fur provides not just warmth and heat, but flexibility. Hunters can make all sorts of body motions as they want. But the next animal not only protects the Inuit family, its skin keeps them dry, even in the water. The Inuit people adore this animal. This animal means the world to the Inuit people. It literally contributes to all parts of their lives: feeding, tool making, and of course, helping them survive the harsh Arctic climate. We already talked about how this animal's blubber is used to power the kulic, helping them survive the cold. But what if I told you that although this animal does not have fur like the caribou, it still contributes a lot to the Inuit clothing? Seal skin is one of the best natural insulators in the Arctic. This is the thing. The main reason why the seal is able to survive this region is because of the kind of skin it has. The skin is naturally resistant to water and cold, and because of this, the animal's skin became one of the most important resources to the locals. But first, you need to understand that catching a seal is no easy task. Yes, the animal may look weak and sluggish, but it sure knows how to stay hidden. The stress that comes with catching this animal is enough to make hunters give up and look for alternatives, but this animal is a full survival kit. It isn't just food to them, but back to the skin, its natural waterproof feature is key. Unlike fur that can get wet, a well-prepared seal skin repels moisture and liquid. But hold on, seal skin does more than just repel water. It has dense hair that creates amazing insulation. You're a lot safer in the Arctic with a seal skin coat than fancy winter sweaters. And not just that, just like caribou fur, the natural oil in seal skin makes its garments more flexible and mobile. This special flexibility feature is really important because it keeps the skin useful for a long time. As a matter of fact, unlike modern garments that get worse over time, seal skin garments do the direct opposite. The more it is used, the better it gets, and the reason for this is simple. When in use, it absorbs natural human body oil, using it to maintain the leather. Impressive, but not as impressive as what the Inuit do with the seal's intestines. Whoever thought intestines could be used to fight a cold? Right after opening up a seal, the intestines are immediately taken aside. Next, they leave it out to dry. After that, they carefully sew them together to make a natural Gore-Tex. Everything about this is impressive. The fact that seals' intestines are waterproof and that the Inuit people recognize this and know how to actually prepare them. When preparation is complete, the people have a waterproof layer that they use to make windows. As a bonus, these processed intestines are incredibly durable and 100% biodegradable. But the key to staying warm isn't always about how many kulics are present in the igloo, or how animal fur and skin are processed. A lot has to do with how well the human takes care of their inner self. The Inuit know they have to find ways to keep their blood pumping and inner self warm to give their body more chances of fighting against the cold. They came up with different exercises to improve their body's endurance. Common day-to-day exercises like breaking ice for water, clearing snow, and even telling stories while sitting around kulics were done with so much energy. It wasn't just about completing the tasks, but ensuring that they stayed warmed up. Standing idle in the extreme cold is basically making yourself more vulnerable to cold-related illness. Aside from completing day-to-day tasks, they take out time to do physical activities like stretching, flexing, twists, leg lifts, pull-ups, things you do to build your dream body. These guys do to stay alive. Although it looks small compared to all the hacks listed above, but the importance of keeping the body active and blood pumping can't be emphasized enough. Also, living in the Arctic means one thing: doing whatever it takes to give yourself the slightest advantage over the cold. And if you've made it this far, chances are you're just as fascinated by this culture as I am. So don't stop here. Click the video on your screen to watch how the Inuit track and hunt polar bears at -95 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a whole new level of survival. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our small Inuit family. Until next time, stay curious and stay warm.